going on, guys? JS Cards here, coming at you with something a little bit different today. We are going to do a discussion, maybe a long form video, talking about my experience with graded Pokemon cards. Now, this is definitely different than my normal Yu-Gi-Oh content, but I think this is worth talking about, and I'm learning things about like graded cards and the collector's market, which is new to me, and I just am looking for advice and to talk about my experience with graded cards, because I kind of did like an experiment with myself with seeing the value of these graded cards go up, and it's way different than I expected. And I think there's a lot of things that have caused that, but it's still worth talking about. This video might be kind of weird or random. I might just end up rambling, so I apologize in advance if this is kind of all over the place. But I just want to start off talking about the history of these graded cards and how I got them. I'll be honest and say how much I paid for some too, and basically what the prices are at now. And the prices have all gone up. I'll just say that right off the bat, but it has been faster and more than I expected. Now, there's people that specialize in only buying, selling, trading, sending in cards to get graded. I know there's a lot of people out there that only this is their job. They send in cards, get them graded, sell the graded cards for a profit. I am not that person. I started slowly adding these and buying these just because I like the cards and I want them for a collection purpose. I'm not really looking to flip these. I just kind of assumed holding on to these long term, the values would go up. I've had all of these PSA cards for about 18 to 24 months, maybe a little bit over 2 years for some. And I'm just very shocked by the current price for some of these cards. Now, I'm going by eBay, buy it now prices. Like, all of these cards are like triple or quadruple the price of what I paid. And some of them I just know, even at that time, I got a really good deal on them. For example, here we have PSA 10. Mega Charizard EX from Evolutions. This came out in 2016. I bought this, I believe, in 2018, middle of 2018 in the summer, and I paid $30 for it. I thought that was a steal at that time. I mean, it's Charizard, it's iconic. Charizard cards are always very expensive. It's a PSA 10 full art. I mean, it looks awesome. So $30, I said, heck yeah, take my money. Sure enough, it arrived in the mail. It wasn't a scam. And now, buy it now prices for this card, like 2 years later, it's $200. And yes, occasionally you do find cheaper ones, like people they just want the cash, maybe sell it for $180, but it's $200, sometimes even higher. And I'm not trying to say that in terms of like I'm showing off my PSA cards, because these, this collection is nothing. It's just, 7 PSA cards I gathered over time. There's people with stacks, their whole desk is covered in PSA 9s and 10s. And I'm not, I hope you guys don't take this the wrong way. I'm not trying to show off anything. I'm just showing that the prices have increased significantly. And I don't know if that's just because that's the PSA market. Like, over time, the Pokemon graded cards do shoot up in value. I just thought it would take much longer to see these increases, not 1 or 2 years. I thought maybe 3, 4, 5 even. And then who knows, in another 10 or 20 years, that's the thing that blows my mind. And I started, the very first one I got for $15 on eBay. Ninetales is one of my favorite Pokemon cards, and Pokemon in general. This is a PSA 9, 2000. It's from base set 2, when they did like the reprint of the base set. $15 for this. Like, again, it was like 2 years ago, because this is the first one I started getting into. I haven't bought PSA cards for Pokemon in a while, but I do have a couple coming in the mail, because again, you just gotta find, every once in a while you find like a gold mine on eBay, people just selling like cheap nines for like, 10, 15, 20 bucks. And that's kind of what I look out for too, but we might get into that later. Anyways, I paid $15 for this 2 years ago, and I just looked before this video, and there's not many of these on the market, PSA 9s, but they are going for like $80 to $100, which is insane. So it's just crazy that you can buy a card like a PSA 9 for pretty cheap and just enjoy the card, have it in your collection. But it's nice to know that, as quickly as a year, 2 years, maybe 3 years, you can like, your money can grow in these collectible cards, which is pretty nuts to me. Like I said, I'm not familiar with the graded markets and the collectors markets for that type of stuff. This is just kind of a side hobby of mine, and I just wanted these to start like a nice collection. And I just kind of assumed I'd keep these in my collection and enjoy them for a few years. I was thinking like 10 years and then look at the prices then. But it is just nuts to see how fast it's grown. So, now looking back at some of the cheaper PSAs that I could have purchased like 6 to 12 months ago, and now they're all like double the price than they were at that time. I'm like kicking myself because I could have had more cards for the collection and they would have gone up in value pretty quickly. So I think the craziest card though is this Dragonite holographic PSA 10 in Japanese. I want to say I got this probably a year to a year and a half ago, and I paid $50 for it, which at the time, was kind of a lot, but I love Dragonite. So I try to collect like iconic cards like the Charizards, Dragonites, things like that, because they're just cool and lots of people like them. So I paid $50 for this. I was nervous, at the time, because at the time that was kind of a lot to spend on one card, but I figured it's a PSA 10. I try to only get 9s or 10s. Once you start getting into like the 8s and 7s, I don't think it's worth it. But anyways, $50 even for this guy. I love it. It's been in my collection here for the past year or so. And on eBay now, there's only like one Japanese copy of this exact card, graded 10, and it's $200. So like, I was just blown away because at the time, a lot of these were being sold for like $50 to maybe $80 each. But yeah, like I said, I like to collect iconic Pokemon, or just ones that, like this guy here, we got Zygarde EX Full Art. I paid $20 for this. So like, I think that's great for a PSA 10. And it's from 2017, so it's already 3 years old. And I think now a PSA 10, it is a promo, so like I think there is more available and more on the market. So this PSA 10 I think probably goes for like $40, but that just shows like it already doubled in price, and that's probably my newest one that I got last summer. So then after I got this Charizard here for $30, I was very happy. I was like, Charizard's iconic. I'm sure it'll go up over time. And I'm blown away now that it's 200. But after I got this Charizard, I thought it'd be cool to get the full art, Venusaur, and then the Blastoise to go with it. So we do have all three here, PSA 10s. And this is awesome. Like, in the future, after I enjoy these cards, and if, down the road, if I decide to sell them, I'd love to sell all of these as a set and make a profit. But for right now, I am just enjoying all of these PSA cards. I thought we could maybe go through them, and then we'll kind of wrap up this video. So before we look at all these cards and enjoy them, I just wanted to say, like I said, I'm not a PSA card expert. There's people that play this game for a living, and they know all the ins and outs of grading and selling and when to sell, when to buy, things like that. I just obtained these basically because I thought the prices were good I like the Pokemon that it is on the card, and I was thinking long-term investments. I'm not looking to flip these even now, even though the prices are much higher than what I paid. I'm gonna enjoy these longer, and that could pay off in the end where the prices go up even higher in the next few years, but that's not my purpose. I just want to have a nice graded card collection specifically for Pokemon. And as you guys know, this is a Yu-Gi-Oh channel. I focus on Yu-Gi-Oh a lot. I don't have any PSA or graded Yu-Gi-Oh cards. So um, that's another avenue I'm thinking about getting into. And if I do, I definitely want to bring discussions to this channel and talk about it and maybe look at the similarities and differences, of graded Yu-Gi-Oh to Pokemon cards and what the market's like. So if you are wanting to get a PSA card, like I said, I just started off with Ninetales because I liked it. And this was $15. I thought this was great to get a graded card. A 9 is high, goes all the way up to 10. So I look for 9s and 10s, and $15 is pretty good for this. So I started with Ninetales, and the collection just kind of grew. But yeah, I only have 9 PSA cards, so the collection's still growing. It's just kind of starting off. I try to just buy one here and there if the price is good. It does involve a lot of luck on eBay, just trying to look for the right seller and look for the lowest prices possible. I think if you're looking to buy any PSA cards for any card game, whether it's Magic, Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon, you should only buy them because you want to collect them and enjoy them. Don't go into it looking to flip it. Or if you are going in with that mentality, just know you have to hold on to these for, 1 to 2 years to see any type of real growth where it's worth it, especially because there's eBay fees, taxes, things like that, PayPal fees. And keep in mind, these prices can fluctuate a little bit. And if there's some big economic crash in the future, these might go back to $20, $30. That's what I paid for these. So go into it knowing you'll have to hold on to these cards. It is a longer term investment. I know a lot of people like to just flip their cards, make their $20 profit, and be done. But with some of these, it's definitely worth holding on to for two years and more. I'm very excited to see in another 2 years where these prices are at. So yeah, if you're like a PSA card guru, if you buy and sell and trade a lot of these, or if you send a lot of cards in to get graded, I would love to know if you have any like tips or advice. And if you have any crazy stories, if you got like a really good deal or something crazy happened, I think that'd be fun to talk about. I really just got these over time. I'd throw 20, 30, maybe $50 here and there when I could to get some of these. And I've just been shocked to see over the past year or so how high the value is now. So this is kind of like a long personal experiment for me to look at these cards every 4 to 6 months and just see, oh, okay, well, a couple months ago that Charizard was at 175 and today it's sitting at 200. So who knows, in another 5 years, especially iconic cards like Dragonite, Charizard, if you have any Pikachus or Eevees, people like those. Who knows what could happen in the future, and it's exciting and it's kind of risky, but overall I think PSA cards are a fun investment. They're a good investment long term, and I think you can definitely make profit. Now, it might not be for every single card, and there's going to be those instances where like I said, the market's really bad, or for whatever reason, the card price just tanks. There could be lots of different reasons that could happen in the future, but generally speaking, I mean, look at some of those PSA 10 Magic cards that go for thousands and thousands of thousands, and Pokemon has some older cards now that are reaching that price range too, and it's nuts. And as I collect these PSA cards and the longer I hold on to them, the more I'm learning about these collector markets and the PSA markets, and I'm just trying to understand it better because I really don't. And that's kind of why I wanted to make this video, because I wanted to bring this discussion out to the public and say, hey, I'm not an expert in this. I just like these graded cards. I think they're cool. As time goes on, finding cards like this in good condition becomes harder and harder. So the fact that these are all, PSA 9s and 10s, they're all in great shape, I think that can benefit me in the future, because this card's already from 2000. It's 20 years old, and it's a PSA 9, which is great, and it's Typhlosion. It's iconic. I mean, trying to find a Typhlosion like this from this set in this condition right now, I think is kind of tough, because it's a 20-year-old card. I'm sure there's chewed up ones and spit on ones and stepped on ones somewhere in someone's binder from 15 or 20 years ago. So I like just knowing that I have some of these older cards and they're in great shape and they're protected. Now, some aren't that old, like these ones are from 2016 and this one's from 2018, but in 20 years, like when this one's 40 years old, these cards now that are newer will be in the same position as this one is now. So yeah, guys, let's take a look at these Pokemon cards one by one, and then we'll end the video here. Yeah, again, I just wanted to bring this discussion with my experience of PSA graded cards to the table here. Some people's stories might be completely different. Some people might think this is really dumb and not worth it, or I have no clue what I'm talking about, and that's probably very true. Like I said, I know there's a certain market of people, a certain group of people that only deal with graded cards, only deal with graded Pokemon cards, and they, it's their job. They will send in piles and stacks of Pokemon cards to get graded, and if it's a 9, they'll bust it out of the case and send it back in and try to get a 10. And it just depends on the person that's grading them at the time, and I'm not that hardcore about it. I'm just slowly buying one here and there every couple of months, maybe even, like I said, I haven't bought one in probably like a year, just because it's not my main focus. I just try to obtain one when I can, and if the price is right, you kind of have a feeling on if it's a good price or not. Like I said, occasionally you find that eBay seller who just wants to get rid of it, and they'll sell it for like $15 when I think it costs $20 to get it graded. So they're already at a loss. But yeah, guys, here we go. Starting back off with our Ninetales. This is the very first one I got, holographic. I try to get holographic ones. I don't know. I think like non-holo PSA graded cards just isn't that fun to me. I mean, it might be worth it and they might be valuable still, but I like the holos for sure. So we got PSA 9 Ninetales. And then we have another PSA 9 Typhlosion from Neo Genesis, holographic. I think it looks really cool. Then for the Japanese cards, we have PSA 10 Light Arcanine. And along with that same set, we have PSA, it doesn't say Light Dragonite, but if you search for it online, this is a Light Dragonite, and it's a PSA 10. So, love these cards. They're from the same set, Japanese. They're awesome looking, and very happy to have these in the collection. Then, moving on to like the full arts and kind of the newer cards, I do have PSA 10 Greninja from Forbidden Light. I just picked this up just because I love Greninja. I use him in all the different games where he's available, and I love the full art. I love the blue water type Pokemon are probably my favorite, although Charizard's like overall my favorite, but yeah. Very happy to have this in the collection. And then you guys saw it already, we have the Zygarde promo, and I love the artwork. I like the full art. And then you guys already saw these two, but just to kind of get a closer look, we have, of course, Venusaur, the Mega Charizard, and the Mega Blastoise. All PSA 10s. I have them in order. We got 100, 101, and 102. So yeah, guys, that is my PSA collection and discussion, just talking about my experiences that I've seen with the prices and things like that. And it's interesting to follow this type of stuff and see what could happen long term. I hope you guys found this video informative, and I hope you learned something. I'm not an expert by any means, and there are a lot of different people out on YouTube that talk about graded cards and they talk about the process and the values. So feel free to go down that rabbit hole because it's very interesting. I like seeing these older cards be protected and preserved and see their value go up over time. It's really interesting to me. So if you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe for more. That really helps me out. Stay tuned for more videos such as deck profiles, openings, and news related videos. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys next time. Peace out and have a good one.